right, guys, Bruce back at you with Roundhill's weeklies. This time at the end of the month, we've got YETH, the Ethereum. Boy, is that ugly. I know crypto's been coming down, but their YBTC reported in the second week, so YETH got killed on this. But everything is not looking all that rosy. You guys, if you've been listening to my videos, I'm saying that, likely we top near the end of February. We could bounce on NVIDIA's earnings on Wednesday after the market close. And if so, that's a very small bounce. And then March we go down. If they don't report well, then we just continue down from here well into March. So let's take XDTE, the S&P 500. Ugly, but 1.56. So now I have your total monthlies, right? Because I have 4 months. We had a 5-week month, okay, in January. So you guys know well when you look at this. So 20 cents down from 22. It's better than on February 5th. Better than January 7th, better than December 11th. So it's not like it's super low. And Roundhill is really good. I really like their weeklies. All right, let's look at the chart. Although I don't label the months, you can just figure this is consecutive months. So if this is February monthly total, January monthly total, and the reason some are green and they're orange is because those are 5-week pay months, right? So the oranges are your 4 and your greens are your 5s. So you can still see that December, with all that end of year capital gains paid out, is your highest so far, and you'd expect that. Um, but your 5 weeks should be up there. But look, we had another 4 week back in what, August? If this is December, November, October, September, yeah, August. August, if you guys remember, that early first week was a big sell off, and then the market went up and continued to go up. So 83 cents is still better than 1 month, right? If this was August, this is July, this is June. All right. So your June, we barely beat it. You're going to notice on the QDTE that it set a new low. Okay, just interesting in comparison. So that can happen when a sector gets hit, and the S&P just has a lot more entries across the board. So you're down in your earnings at 83 for the 4-month total for February payouts. And you earn 20 cents, so 21 yield. Again, we've seen a lower yield there at 19, 18, 15. So 1 week doesn't make a trend, but 1 month is making a trend. And if what happens is what I think in March, we go down, then we could set a new low for that. All right. So let's go over to QDTE, the NASDAQ 100. And although percentage wise, it always has a higher yield. Look at this, we're down 205 in that. And our total is under $1. So we're now yielding in QDT less than $1 for the first time. So let's look at that chart. Somebody made a comment in my video. I don't know if it's just, it must be a hater. Oh, I can't see the numbers. I can't see the numbers. Well, anybody, I think you can see the numbers. They're not the biggest in the world, but that happens sometimes in your chart. So we were at 99 cents after having a fabulous December with all that return of capital and end of year payouts. And then prior to that, it was August. But now we have beat the low. I don't know that that's a positive, right? Whereas on the S&P, on the XDTE, we were 83 versus a low of 80. So here we are in November, having paid 99. Again, the green are 5-week months. So it's nice to see a year in beats even the 4-week payers. All right. So we won't have this for a few more months. As I mentioned to you guys, it doesn't follow exactly every 3 months, but the map says that 4 times a year, a month will pay 5 weeks, and all the other ones will be four. It's just statistically how it happened. And typically it's every 3 months. Something can get messed up and it takes a little bit longer, but then it's going to follow that theme. All right, so let's go look at the Russell again. This was 25.95. So the yield is clearly higher, and the NASDAQ 100 has been, along with the Russell at times, the highest yielder. This dropped to 19 cents from 20. Have we had other? No. And its history, I'm not seeing I see a 20-cent payer, a 20-cent payer. All right. So you had lower yields when it paid 20 cents because it was 24 because the stock was higher, the index was higher, right? So at 38, we're down 214. And let's look at the chart and see how. Oh, I haven't charted that, but I did sum up. So by far, that's the lowest for RDTE. Here's you had a 5-week payout in October 2024, buck 53. You had a dollar. I should chart this now. I got it now. You had a $1.33 in November, a four. You had a 4-week in December. Now the reason December wasn't so big, they didn't have all that extra money to pay out that had been accumulated over the year. All right. And it's possible there, I don't know if their fiscal year, it doesn't look like it based on the other funds, was September or October like some of the funds do. Then they'll pay bigger at that time. But here we are with substantially $1.20, I'll call it, was the low, and now we're at 93 cents. So, guys, if you're chasing income only, the yields are decent. Let's go look at the summary on that. So for that, I go right here. All right. And you know about my database. I've been talking about that. After Yieldmax reports, and if they report any on their weekly, I'm going to start going out and looking at the different weeklies and using that database to compare with more statistics for you guys. So the XDTE is now 356 days, right? So basically, it's almost annualized. Um, you don't have much of a, you have a 1.02 instead of 1. And this guy is still playing catch up, right? Because it came out on September the 10th. These were all March 7th. And guys, I get it. If your inception price is different, great, right? That's why you DCA, that's why you reinvest, that's why you do a number of things like that. So let's look at the dividend return because this is where you get killed. Look at the NASDAQ now, 17% on the loss factor. Okay, NAV erosion. But I mean, one can live with that with an annualized return of 32, but that's marginalized, so you're getting a 15% return. The S&P 500 is giving you a 16.83. Now somebody could say 15 and 16, well, really 17 and 15 because this rounds up. Um, 2%, and hey, I'm collecting more money along the way. I'll buy into that argument. What you want to be concerned about is this the change in the NASDAQ 100? Or when the market turns bearish for a while, when this, sectors get hit, the NASDAQ is likely to get hit harder. Okay. So you may want to look. I'll do a hedging one coming up soon on what all you can buy that target these indexes and maybe even have a fund with income. I really need to do a little bit more research then because I know not all you guys, especially you guys that just want to DCA and throw money and just buy more when it's down. There's nothing wrong with that. That's a great thing to do from a price perspective over the long term. It's just I hate to see you take losses. So if your way is just to DCA, that's okay too. But nimble people that want to swing trade, I'll give you some alternatives to do that because I'm starting to put a lot of that kind of stuff in my database. All right, so here's your dividend return, the actual return, and this is annualized. Well, you notice a very little difference when you have 356 days. Your annualized number looks like your dividend return number. However, when you're only 118 days in and you have a 16, that's going to come up to 34. So still the highest projected dividend annualizer. And look at the NASDAQ 100 has passed and exceeded now the loss. This isn't good for an early fund, but again, it's the old timing. It's like people say, oh, that was a worth time to launch that, right? One sector that I'm still fairly positive will be interesting. I'm still positive on the Chinese big tech companies, right? The Alibabas, the Baidus, the some of those things. So it'll be interesting to see if we get hit, if those get hit an equal amount. Let me go out and look at something. Let me look at Alibaba. Yeah, look at this. Alibaba yesterday up 3.85. Now, so that's counter to most everything else. So those are things that you can look at sectors that are just so beaten down. I know if you look at Alibaba chart, it shows up since November, but that's marginal to where it probably can go. All right, guys, that's what I got for you. Let me know. Let me go over here. So your total return numbers are right there, 16, 15, and 17. All right. So Roundhill, despite all that, is still, in my opinion, a great fun. Great, great fun. All right, that's what I got for you guys. Oh, I forgot to give you a YETH. It always does this at the end of the month, the fourth distribution. Look at this. I mean, this was 5138. Why am I? Oh, that's because this needs to say 226, guys. All right. And so then that's going to reflect. All right. So as a reminder, that's on these pay dates on everything, right? So the declaration is for 226. Trading day you need to buy. Ex dividend is 27, and payday is 28. Not only on this, but on all the other ones, on the RDTE, XDTE, and QDTE. All right, guys, so this one was trending along here. It hit kind of a high of 54. It's only been out, what, 6 months of payments? So maybe 7 months. Yeah, 6 months, more like 6 months, because there's your total number of days. So when you get whacked, the volatility of crypto, I don't have to tell you guys, you really get whacked. So let me make sure this is reading from 12. Oh, not entirely true. I thought that needed to get updated. Sometimes. All right. So 1422. So your annualized dividend yield is still good on these cryptos, 6360. It's just you do have to understand that, a net return is looking better than RDTE, XDTE, and QDTE at the moment, right? But again, volatile along the way. Where does crypto go? Does crypto go back to 74? It could well. Does it turn and run to 135? I think it's got 135 in it this year. It's just a question of when. Do we have to go revisit? I'm talking BTC, guys. Just giving you, because to me that sets a standard for all this stuff. I'm not a meme guy. I'm not a Solana guy. Those things are just follow what BTC does. And the same way a bit with Ethereum. It's just a little bit more solid. Um, so that's what I got for you. No surprise here. You know, you can do inverses on this kind of stuff. All right, again, this is Bruce with Targeted Wealth Creation. I'm not a financial advisor. It's for fun and entertainment. Have a good one, guys. Got a lot more coming, Max and others. I'm not even reporting on Defiance. I'm tracking it in my database. Somebody shout out in the comments if you want me to show Defiance and do a video. I'm getting so little views, 300 or 400 views, that it almost doesn't make sense. But I do track it in my database so I can show Roundhill, ultimately Yield Max when they're doing their weeklies more, and Defiance and some Neos and some others for. So how are people paying and how do they stack up against each other on the payment of these popular indexes for income funds? All right, guys, bye for now. Talk to you later.